Hi, I'm Julia and I knit a lot, and welcome to my channel, Julia Knitsalot. It's been a while since I've done one of these podcast episodes. I've done the West Knits Shawls episode, and last time I did one where I did a lot of frogging and talking. Well, I always do a lot of talking in the videos, but a frog and chat. And so this time I thought it's time to show you what I've been working on in the last couple of weeks. And there's a lot to talk about. I think I will not be able to talk about everything that I've knit in the last 2 months since the last time I did a regular podcast episode, simply because I did a lot of small things like hats and stuff like that. That's probably not hugely interesting, and there's just so much that I want to talk about. And I tend to somehow talk for a long time. If you know me in real life, you know that I'm usually not a talker. I don't talk that much, I think. I'm more like the observer. My husband is the talker. But in these videos, I always talk for a lot. So, yeah, there's a lot to show. And also, this time, today, I don't want to talk just about knitting. I also got back into a hobby or craft that I did when I was younger, which is coloring. And so I will talk about that in the end. So if you're not interested in coloring and just my thoughts about art and artistic impressions, stuff like that, you can just watch the knitting part. And if you're interested in that as well, hang around. Let's get started because there's a lot to talk about. Which one should I pick first? I have prepared a lot of stuff here. Now I need to... this one. So, this box is the box that is by the Fibre Fox, you can see. Is where I put my current whip. So the Fibre Fox, they do these beautiful advents where you get a mini. They have different types of advents now, but the ones that I get are the ones where you get a mini, 24 minis throughout December, and they send their advents in these beautiful boxes. And I have recently received my advent that I have bought for this year. It's actually right here. I can show you. I will only show the box. If you ordered it and haven't received yet, look away. I will not open it. So this is the box. And I had to order some extra yarn because I have a certain project in mind for this advent, and I needed some yarn to supplement, so I have enough yardage. So I actually already opened the first day. Yeah, I wanted to have a look at the color because I wanted to choose the main yarn and the main color that I will be using in my project, and I just wanted to have a look how well they go together. So I already looked at the first day, but I will not open the rest. I haven't opened the rest, of course, but I might start using this year's advent a bit earlier than December 1st, because I'm planning to make a big project, and I cannot say more about that because it's a gift. So let's just not talk about that. This is already getting chaotic. let's talk about last year's advent that I'm planning to use. So the new advent arrived and I realized I still haven't used last year's advent. So I want to finish that. I want to use it. And I have started a project in summer, and I actually have shown it in the very first episode that I released on my channel. And it was sitting there after I've recorded the first episode, and I haven't picked it up since then for a long time because I'm knitting on 3mm needles and I needed a break from small needles. But now it's back. So let me show you. This is a raglan in a difficult stage to show. Which one is the front? Let me see. So this is the front. And this is the Friday tee by Petite Knit, and I'm wanting to make a long sleeve version. Yeah, so this is a raglan. It has a very broad raglan, and I'm actually modifying it. I'm making the raglan a little bit more narrow. So I've removed a couple of stitches from the raglan and added them to the other sections. And it's worked in a broken rib. And I'm working this on 3mm needles. And I'm using, this is Schachenmeier, Regia Schachenmeier Premium Silk. This is a full ball. And this is the advent. So I'm using the Fibre Fox advent called Witching Hour from last year. This is the other yarn that I'm planning to use, and it looks, I just love it. I love these colors. I've already used a couple of colors and I haven't used all of it. So I'm weighing the yarn, I'm labeling it, and then I'm putting on these paper strips. It's just like paper from the paper bin, like nothing special. And then I'm keeping them for the next project. So for the raglan, first of all, I decided to start with color 24. The darkest color was the color 24 because I feel it works better with my coloring than color 1. It's okay. It's not that bad actually. But that's what I decided. So I decided to have the darkest color near my face and then slowly fade out the colors. This is now the back. There are short rows in the color and you're striping the colors, and I decided, because in the raglan, in the shoulder part, in the yoke, you use less yarn. So the same meterage, 20 grams, gives you a longer distance. And I didn't want like the top half to be completely gray and then maybe not even be able to use the last colors, the lightest colors. So I decided for the yoke that I'm doing 2 stripes per color, and then I'm switching them to the next mini. So that's why I still have some left over for these colors. I think it looks really nice. Again, I think, no, this is the back. No, this is the front. I think it looks good. The broken rib is quite stretchy, so it will stretch when I wear it. I've tried it on, and the collar is quite tight now. It's a little bit tighter than I like, but I think with the weight of the sweater and with washing, it's a superwash yarn, it will relax and it will get wider. So I'm kind of accounting for that. I did choose to make a size L because I wanted to have a little bit more positive ease. Her pattern, her design is a T. So I'm adapting this to be a sweater, and the T it's not super fitted, but it is a little bit fitted. So I think the recommended ease is 6 to 9 centimeters. And I decided to go a size up, so I'm making L. But to be honest, I'm not sure. That would give me positive ease of around 13 or 14 centimeters, and I'm not sure if I need that. So I might stop doing raglan e-creases earlier than recommended in the pattern. We will see. It looks really nice. Another thing, so the progress of course is quite slow because the needles are so small. I'm not sure I will, well, no, I am sure that I will not finish this before I will start using the other advent. So I might actually, so now it's getting all tangled up because I have so many yarn ends, because I'm constantly switching the minis. You see, a lot of ends. And this is a stitch marker that came with the advents. They always have these cute sets of stitch markers that come with it. So there's a progress keeper usually, and 4 of these. And I chose to use one as the beginning of round. And these are new. These I actually got 2 days ago at Knitfest in Zurich. There was this yarn festival in Zurich, and I went there, and there was this stand. Wait, I have the card. No, where's the card? I will link it. I know I had the card. So I will link it in the description box below. I think her name, the name was Kraftiara, and she had beautiful stitch markers. I got this tin box. You could choose the box, and I chose this one because it reminds me of an agate stone. And can I open it? I chose the round stitch markers, just like regular, because I don't have any of these beautiful golden simple stitch markers, and they're great for raglans and stuff like that. She also had hearts. They were really cute, and hexagons, but I went with the circles. And I also got this beautiful progress keeper. Is it focusing? It's so pretty. She had many pretty and cute progress keeper, and I decided I looked at them, and there was like a cute bunny that I really liked, but then this one just jumped at me and I immediately knew that was the right one. Sometimes you just know instantly which one is the right one, and this was the right one. And I also got an advent calendar, because the other advent, the yarn advent, I actually ordered in spring before. Yeah, that was a long time ago. And I will get the joy of using it, of opening it, but the end product will not be for myself. So I decided, let's also buy an advent that you get to keep. So I bought her advent. Here you can see the logo, Kraftiara. So I bought this advent, and I'm really excited. It will be stitch markers and progress keepers. So I also have something worked for myself. Yeah, so this is the Friday tea. I'm not sure if there's much else that I can say about it. I will just work on it. It will still take probably a couple of months for me to finish this because it's small needles. I'm now about here, so I still need to finish the raglan increases, and it will still be a lot of work, but it's okay. I'm not rushing. And right now I'm really excited to work with this yarn. I'm excited to use the colors, and maybe at some point I will be more excited to work on a different project, and then I will put this away again, possibly, and not work on it for a couple of weeks, and then I will pick it up again. That's just, you know, the creative process. So yeah, but it looks so good. I'm really happy with how it looks. And I'm not sure if, again, I'm looking again, searching for the back and the front. I'm already thinking about what I could do with the leftovers. So I'm not sure if the lighter colors, if I will use all the minis, because I will use them in the body and the sleeves. So I will probably I'm thinking I might use up most of them. Not sure if I will even get to the lightest colors, but we will see. And there's also one mini, the next one, which would be day 19, which I'm removing because it has this red fleck. And it's like a orangish, rusty color, and it just doesn't really go with the rest of the colors. These are all cool colors, and this is more like a warm orange. And I'm not sure if this is intentional or not. I'm kind of thinking maybe during the dyeing process they kind of accidentally, maybe they were also dyeing something else, and it kind of accidentally, yeah, they got some color on there. I'm not sure, but when you're winding up the skein, you can clearly see. So maybe it's intentional. I'm not sure. I just decided to take it out because I feel it doesn't pick up any of the other colors, so it doesn't really look like it goes in there. And so if I have this color somewhere, a spot in this orange somewhere on the sweater, it doesn't really pick up any of the other shades. So I'm removing it, and I think I will still have enough yarn. It will be fine. So the leftovers, I'm thinking I might do like a hat, a scrappy hat. And the advent that I got last year, I actually also got a full skein that came with it. I love it. I love it so much. This is one of those cases where you know, when you really like a certain color and you kind of want to use it for something special, so you keep saving it, and in the end you don't use it at all. That's this one. So I'm thinking this might actually be a nice hat. Maybe a muscle bra hat. How do you pronounce this? And then maybe I can combine it with the leftovers, because they do go together well, because it's the same dyer and the same advent. So I think that might be a good idea. I don't want to use it for socks. Okay, yeah, I'm excited by this. I'm excited. I'm enjoying working on this. I often work on this in the morning when I drink my coffee and when I'm alone. I don't really work on this when my kids are around. Well, it's not hard, you know. You have like every other round, it's just knitting, so it's actually fine. But when I have to do the increases, yeah, that's when you have to pay a little bit attention. Hi, so I remembered that I finished the GoGo Dynamo by Stephen West, last year's Mystery Knit Along shawl, and I wanted to show you, but I forgot to take it with me for filming, so I had to go and grab it. Okay, so here it is. Oh, it looks really good on camera. So about this shawl, I have already talked about it a bit in the video where I show you all of my Stephen West shawls. I like wearing it. I haven't worn it as much yet. And I also have just so many shawls. But I really like the colors. I think they suit me well, and I like them especially for autumn, and I like this dark red also for winter. I'm happy with the result. I didn't really enjoy the process that much, I have to say. I was already complaining last time about the triangles, so those triangles were really tedious to knit because you're constantly knitting these very short rows, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So there's so much turning all the time, and you know, switching yarns and stuff. It's just a lot of turning and yarn management that I didn't really particularly enjoy that. And with then also these bubbles. They look, actually I like the look of them. Mine are not super neat, especially these first ones. I think they got better later, because the way you create these bubbles, in the right side row, you increase, you have 3 stitches coming out of 1 stitch, and on the back side you immediately purl those 3 stitches together. And with this fluffy yarn that I've used, the Drops brushed alpaca silk, purling 3 together was just so tricky, and I'm pretty sure I didn't always catch all 3 strands. And I guess it's a good thing that this is a fluffy yarn and it kind of likes to stick together, so I'm not sure if these bubbles will unravel over time or not, but that's not... Yeah, they don't look super neat. I think they're okay, and nobody really pays attention probably. Yeah, but I like the overall look. I like to wear it. It's just, while I was knitting on this shawl, this is a mystery knit along, so it has to be exciting. You don't know where it's going and all these kinds of things. And so you start in the middle with these semicircles. You knit semicircles, you attach them together, you have this long strip, then you do the brioche and the triangles, and then you go back and pick up stitches here, and you do these small bubbles, some rows with garter. There's actually a slip stitch pattern here, but I did it for the first time, and I did these. They were also supposed to be here, and I just did garter ridges because, as you can see, the yarn that I chose doesn't really show off these slip stitch triangles that well, and I just wanted to finish. I couldn't be bothered to do these slip stitch triangles if you can't really see them that well. It just seemed to be a lot of work with not a lot of effect. So I decided to do garter ridges here. So the way it is constructed, I can understand that it's, because it's a mystery knit along, it's supposed to be something exciting and special. So that's probably the reason why you kind of start in the middle and then you go back, you pick up and stuff like that. But I think I would have enjoyed it more if it was just a simple top-down semicircular shawl. Yeah. Because I like the finished product, but I think I would have just preferred it if we just start here and just kind of... So again, this has taught me that I'm just not a mystery knitting type of person. And that's okay. I have looked at this year's Mystery Knit Along. I even bought a kit because I got sucked into the marketing. And I'm happy with the yarn that I bought, but I didn't need it. So now I will use it for a shawl, I'm sure, but I had this plan of using more that I'm buying, and this is just kind of working against that plan. And I'm not regretting it or anything, but I'm just thinking, well, you didn't really why did you buy it? Because Stephen West is just he's not just a good designer, he's also good at selling things. So, yeah. So I guess I'm just a type of person who likes to choose the shawl, like see the complete design before I start knitting and then kind of go from there. I do love knitting his patterns, but I don't think MCAL is the right thing for me, or I will only start after the whole shawl has released. And yeah, so the order is a little bit switched up. I'm talking about finished objects now because I actually also made a hat that used up some of the leftovers from this shawl. So there was a fingering weight Filcolana Arvetta, and there was in this dark red, the brushed alpaca silk white drops, and I held it together with a random ball of yarn that has been sitting in my stash for at least 7 years. It was just one ball. I don't know what I was thinking when I bought it. I didn't realize that one ball of worsted weight yarn doesn't go very far. So I bought 2 balls. I couldn't decide between 2 colors, so I bought 2 very similar colors, but not quite the same. What was I thinking? So I still have one of those 2. So this was the Katja Merino Shetland, and you can see the label looks very different today, nowadays. So this is an old yarn. And the other yarn, the other colorway that I bought from this same yarn was also a red, but more a brownish red. So I decided to finally use it. And I made the LC Beanie by Ailbíona McLochlainn. I hope that's how it's supposed to be pronounced. And I made this hat, and I really like it. You can, it's a top down, so it's good for using up leftovers or scraps or small amounts of yarn, like a single ball, and it's you can knit it at several gauges. I think she gives you 3 gauges that you can use in the pattern, and I chose to use the chunky or the largest gauge, so I held 3 strands together. And I like how it turned out. I really like it, and of course it goes well with this because it's part of it is the same yarn, and I really, really like it. There's a little bit of marling going on because some of the yarns are a bit darker than the others, and but not too much, so I think it has a nice effect. Another thing about this hat is that you can actually knit it as a slouchy beanie. I ran out of yarn, so I couldn't do it long enough to do that, so you could do a slouchy beanie, or now for me it's more like a fitted beanie because I didn't have more yarn. So if I could, I would, if I had more yarn, like maybe 5 grams or 10 grams more of the Katja yarn, the Merino Shetland, I would have made the brim a little bit taller. I really wanted this large chunky brim, and then I could have also worn it a little bit slouchier. I can still do that, but it's not quite as... Yeah. I just really like this color, especially for winter, and I think it looks good on my skin, and it goes with almost any color that I have in my wardrobe. So yeah, now I have a set almost. And she also came out with another pattern, LC mittens. So the LC stands for low commitment. The low commitment beanie and the low commitment mittens. And I also want to, I think it would be nice to, it would be nice to make matching mittens, but I don't have this yarn anymore. I would have to find a different red yarn to use. Also, I almost never wear mittens or gloves. Really, it has to be really cold for me to wear mittens. But I could use the mittens for when I go to football games in winter. It gets really cold. Yeah, so should I leave this on for a while? Okay, so that's that. I also made I actually made a lot of hats. I made this hat for my son. This is just very briefly, this is Drops Air. I made the Pearl Soho classic ribbed hat. And he never wears it. So these are the colors that he chose for his birthday. I made him a hat for his birthday. He chose the colors. And then I took out all the other hats that he has for winter, and he remembered, oh yeah, I also have this orange and yellow striped ribbed beanie. I will rather wear that one. That is my favorite hat. So now he never wears it. And I also made the hat for my dad in a navy color with a brown stripe, and he really liked it. It's just a simple ribbed beanie, 2x2 rib. And my son saw me knitting on it, and he really loved it, and he was so excited. Oh, you're knitting another hat for me? And I was like, no, this is for my dad, so this is for Grandpa, it's not for you. And he was so disappointed, so I had to promise him that I would make the identical, exact same hat for him as well. So now I'm knitting another hat. So this is the 4th hat in like a month that I'm now knitting, and they will have the exact same thing, and then they can partner up like grandpa and grandson, matchy. I think it will be really cute, and I think both of them are really kind of excited to have matching hats, and I think that's just so cute. I'm not really excited to knit exactly the same thing again, but yeah, I will do it for my family. Good. So let's talk about a whip that I have been working on a lot for a month or so, maybe 6 weeks. And then I tried it on and I was disappointed, and now it's been sitting in a corner for like a month. Oh, I'm not happy with how it's going. So I need advice. I think I need advice. And I asked my husband for advice. It was not helpful, okay? I need a knitting advice, not my husband's advice. So I have started the port jacket. As you can see, I'm already quite far in. I've really wanted to make a thick and cozy like layering piece. I'm not planning to wear this as a sweater in the house, except for maybe in deepest winter. This would be more like an outer layer for when I'm, I don't know, going for a walk on a clear and sunny, cold day. I don't know. So, yeah, and it's not, I was really excited for this project at first, and now I have reached the sleeves and I'm not happy with how it's going. So, let me show you. Okay, somebody in the house opposite of me is now sitting in front of the window, and they can see that I'm filming myself. This is kind of awkward. And I can't close the curtains now. This is kind of awkward. Well, he's looking at his phone. I don't think he's realizing. So this is it. I will put it on later. So this is the port jacket, as I've said, by Ozetta. And I'm using Sadness Garn Peer Gynt and Camaros Midnight Soul. And I was really excited about this Peer Gynt yarn. This is the first time I'm using Peer Gynt, and I have heard, mixed opinions about the yarn. Some people really love it. They say it wears really well, and it's quite hardy, and it's probably good for like an outerwear jacket, like what I was envisioning. And other people find it really scratchy. I am quite sensitive around my neck, I think, but it's fine. It feels okay. I actually think this is less scratchy to me than mohair. I guess it really depends on the type of fiber. So I think I'm more sensitive to mohair than this. Maybe if I'm like warm, it would start to feel itchy, but if it's cold, I think it would be fine. And I really, really, really wanted this exact color. I wanted this tweedy color. I wanted a cream with dark and brownish tweed. So I started the jacket, and I'm almost done with the body. I still have 5 centimeters to go on the ribbing. And I think I really like how the fabric looks with the tweed, and I like the feel of it. So my problem is the sleeve. You can see in the picture that she has in her pattern, it is really oversized, and I think I even sized down from what she recommended. I think the recommended ease is 30 centimeters, something like that. And I think I even went a size down. And it's still quite oversized for me. I think it's still like 20 centimeters. Do I have... Where? There's just so much stuff. So, I do like the pattern. I think this is my first time using an Ozetta pattern. So this is, you probably have seen this a lot of times. I do like her writing style and everything. It's clear, so that's good. But yeah, so I think I decided to go for a size S, which still gives me over 20 centimeters, 22 centimeters of positive ease instead of the recommended M, which would have given me 30, I think. Not quite, 28. And I still feel that the armhole is really deep and the sleeves are really wide. And I do like a wider sleeve, like this is quite fitted. I've had this is store-bought. This is not handmade. This is quite fitted, and I've had this for I don't know, 15 years. So that was the style back then. But now I actually like a little bit of a wider sleeve. So if I make something for myself, I guess I would choose a wider sleeve. So I'm okay with a wide sleeve, but I think this one is too wide. I certainly couldn't fit it under my coat, I'm sure. And so the problem with the deep yoke, the deep armhole and the wide sleeve is that there's just so much extra fabric in this area, and I really don't like that. So I will put it on. I will show you. And then you can tell, help me. Please leave a comment and tell me what I should do. Because I almost never knit these type of shoulder constructions. And I think one reason why I don't do that, I don't know why people find this beginner friendly. I think a raglan sleeve is more beginner friendly because you can just try it on and check the yoke depth, and whenever it's what you like, you can stop doing increases and you can split for sleeves. You can knit a deeper yoke and do more increases. But with this type of construction, the row gauge is more important, I think, than in a raglan. So in a raglan you can compensate. If your row gauge is off, you can just do more increases or less increases. But here the row gauge also matters. So I actually had to, I think I was a little bit off, and I just constantly measured until I reached the centimeters that she recommended. And so I don't do a lot of these types of constructions, and maybe it's how it's supposed to be, and I'm just not used to it. So this is how it looks now. It's still a bit short because I ran out. My one wall was done, and I decided, you know what, maybe now is a good time to do the sleeve and see how the sleeve fits before you finish the ribbing. So there will still be like 5 more centimeters, like this much. I will make it shorter than the pattern because I don't want it to go over the broadest part of my hips. I want it to stop above the broadest part of my butt. So this is too cropped. It will be a little bit longer. So I haven't put this on since maybe 3 weeks ago, when I decided that I'm kind of frustrated and not happy with the sleeve. So how does it look? What do you think? I just don't like how it's bunching here and here. I just don't like that. You can see it's really deep. It's so wide. It's really wide. So what can I do now? I'm thinking, should I rip back and do more increases, like quicker increases? I don't remember what the recommended decreases, not increases, decreases. Oh my God. I don't want it to get wider. I want it to get smaller. I think the decrease rate, let's just say a number. Let's say the decrease rate is 8, every 8th round. So maybe I could do every 5th for the couple until the elbow. And then maybe from the elbow on, I can do a little bit more like a straight sleeve, something like that. But this is still the depth that it is. It just remains like that. So when I do this, it just bunches up a lot. And I think that's the reason why I never do these kind of constructions. I have also noticed this in many of the petite knit sweaters that are really oversized. There's just always so much fabric in this area. And she just released a couple of days ago this light pink sweater, Linnea, I think it's called, with the light pink with the dark line across the back. And first of all, it looks huge. Like there's so much positive ease. I don't think I would make it with that much positive ease for myself anyway, but I noticed that there's also all this extra fabric around the upper arms and here. It's just not what I want to have for my own garments. I mean, everybody can make whatever they like, but it's not what I was going for. So if anybody has an idea what I could do, please let me know. And otherwise, I'm not sure what I would do. I have already knit so much. I don't want to frog back and knit something else. That's a lot of work that I've already put into this project, so I'm kind of frustrated, to be honest. Maybe I should go back and finish the ribbing and do the button band and the collar, and it will kind of pull it together. But this still remains. If there's the button band attached, this huge sleeve still remains. Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it's normal. Like, is this a normal sleeve? Please tell me. Just, is this normal? I mean, what is normal? But maybe this is not as bad as I thought. Maybe I should compare this to a coat or something like that. There's no way that I could put my winter coat over this. It would be so much extra fabric. Yeah. I don't know what to do. So this has been lingering for a while because I'm not happy with how it's going. So I haven't worked on it. Yeah. I'm happy to hear any thoughts and opinions, feedback, tips, whatever you think. You can also tell me just rip it out and do something else. Well, if I decide to do that, I would probably first let it sit for at least 6 months because maybe I need to detach emotionally from my project before I can rip it out like that. Oh, no, it would be a shame to rip it out. I don't think I want to do that. Oh, it smells like a sheep. Which is to be expected. It's, it's yarn. Oh. No, I think sometimes I'm kind of weird. I like to smell my yarn and I often do this. It just... Yeah, sometimes I think I'm weird. Okay, so let me know what you think. This has been in timeout because I need to make a decision and I don't know what to do and I'm kind of frustrated. Goodbye. So let's have a sip of water. Similar situation, let's say, with my shawl. I mean, it's not about armhole depth and sleeve width and stuff like that, but it's more like I need to make a decision and I don't know how to decide, so it's just sitting there. And I have so many shawls. I don't need another shawl, so this is not like an urgent project. So other things are currently more urgent or more needed, so like the hats and the sweater and socks and things like that. So I have been working on my Jigshawl Puzzle. That's how it's looking. So this is a modular construction, This is a pattern by Stephen West, and as you can see, well, it will be a huge triangular shawl, but as you can see, it's made up of all these small geometric forms, of all these shapes. And in my last video, in my frogging video, I had a section here which I had completely frogged because I wasn't happy with the colors I chose, and I re-knit all of this. Since then, I also knit all of this. I'm happy with the pink. I wasn't planning on using hot pink in this section, and I just kept switching between yarns and colors, and I was never happy with what I chose, and in the end I ended up with choosing pink. So I chose the hot pink, and then I knit this section, and now I'm here. So this will be nearly the tip of one of the tips from the triangle. Here you are now forming the triangle in this direction, and I think I was hesitant about the color I chose. I think the color is fine. I think I'm happy with the color, but this is a thicker yarn, so I decided to hold it single, and I can see that the gauge is a bit looser. So now I'm thinking maybe I could add a lace weight to make it a little bit thicker, and I can't decide which lace weight to use, and I don't want to buy yarn. This project is meant to be made out of stash yarn. I have enough yarn. Especially, you know, this type of pattern lends itself really well to using small amounts of yarn. You don't have to go and buy 4 new skeins to make a big shawl. You can use all of these small tiny bits. I mean, this probably used like 10 grams of yarn. So I don't really want to buy something. So now I need to make a decision. So it's lingering. I know that the next section, which will be a small triangle, I want to add this one at some point, but not for a large section. This will be a larger section, and I think this is too busy. This is Julia's Atelier. The colorway, I forgot. I can look it up. I will use this, but for a smaller section at some point. Sommerlust, it's called, Julia's Atelier. You can also see her, all these skeins back there are the same dyer. I want to use this orange after this section, so how is this working? I think it will be added here, and I think that gives a really good contrast. It's quite well balanced if I put a color pop on this side. So this one, I'm not sure. I think the color works well. I just need to find something to hold it together with. I have this, but this is so bright. I think this is too bright. I bought this and never used it, obviously. I think my daughter had a very, very brief period of time when she liked highlighter yellow. So I bought highlighter yellow yarn, and now it's never been used. All she wants now is blue. So yeah, but overall I'm happy with this project, and as I have said before, I want this to be colorful. I want this to be like color therapy. It's always gray and gloomy here in winter, so I want to have a colorful shawl. Actually, I think it will be this way. I like how, and I also want to have a decent contrast between the shapes. I don't want it to be too blended. So I don't want to add a white here. I think that would kind of muddy it would weaken the contrast between the two. Yeah, so we will see what happens there. Is that it? I think that's all of the knitting I have to show you. So if you're interested in seeing something else than knitting, stick around. I have been knitting a lot, as always, but I have also kind of rediscovered an older passion of mine, which is drawing. I actually used to draw a lot and do a lot of coloring and painting. Didn't do so much coloring actually. I did a lot of watercolor painting and when I was a teenager. And I have bought a couple of years ago 1 or 2 coloring books, one of those adult coloring books, and I have one sitting right there. This one. Rita Bergmann, Mein Winterspaziergang. So my winter walk. And I have had this for 5 years. I colored this in December 2020. So this was always like an occasional hobby of mine, but I've never really, been really consistent with it. This was more or less the only coloring book I used, and because it's a winter coloring book, this was more like a winter hobby. So I made this. Also in December 2020, I made this. Yeah, so recently I thought to myself, you know what, maybe I could do some coloring again. And oh my god, I think I have been living under a rock. I had no idea that coloring was such a big thing on the internet. I mean, I had no idea. I think it all started with YouTube suggesting a coloring video or something like that, and I thought, oh wow, I didn't know that was a thing. I started looking, of course, at that video, and then YouTube, of course, suggested more and more coloring videos. And I was just diving into this rabbit hole. I had no clue that it was like such a huge thing. And also on TikTok and on Instagram, and also now people are complaining that it's kind of turning into this overconsumption thing. I saw people buying hundreds of coloring books, and they have tons and tons of markers, and I had no idea. I felt really old. You know, I'm turning 38 soon, so I'm not that old, but well, older than the younger generation, I guess. So yeah, I kind of fell into the rabbit hole. I went to the bookstore and bought 2 coloring books. And I also, if you're into coloring, you know Hanna Karlzon. I had no idea who that was. She's one of the big names. I had no clue. So I discovered her books. I looked at so many videos on YouTube that show you the flip throughs, and there was one video recently last week. I can link it in the description box. By a coloring artist who went through all of the Hanna Karlzon books that she has and kind of ranked them. And it was really useful to me because I had difficulty deciding which book I wanted to get. And I'm not, just like with the yarn, I don't want to overconsume. I don't want to just buy all of them just to have them. I want to choose 1 or 2 and then use those for a while. And then maybe later on I can buy a new one. But I don't want to just get all of them. So I decided I wanted to pick 1 or 2. That video was really useful, and the book that I had kind of already picked out for myself, she also had ranked as her favorite book, so that was good to see. I also chose, I will not tell you in case you want to watch the video and you don't want to get spoiled. So I chose that one, and I also chose Hanna Karlzon has a Christmas coloring book. I also chose the Christmas one, and I didn't buy them. I found links online where you can order them, and I sent those links to my husband. That's how it works. And well, I have a birthday coming up, and it's Christmas coming up, obviously. So I chose 2 books. He now has 2 occasions where he can give me a book. And then there is also a new book coming out by R.J. Hampson. Again, if you're into coloring, you know who R.J. Hampson is. I had no idea. So again, I looked through all of his books. I discovered that he had a YouTube channel. He's also left-handed like me, which is really always fun to see. He has color-alongs, so you can see how he colors his own pages. And I find it interesting just to see the process of other people. And to see another left-handed person do this kind of thing, how they handle it and how they kind of bend their hand. And he has a new book coming out now. I think it will come out tomorrow when I record this. So it comes out mid-November, and it's called Winter Wonder, and I'm not sure if I can buy it anywhere in Switzerland yet. So I talked to my husband about it. I told him about that book, and he was like, so can you send me a link? I don't know where I can order the book. And we were talking about this coloring stuff and the coloring rabbit hole that I fell into, and I was kind of hinting at possible, gift ideas. And I told him that I was looking at markers. So I also had no idea that this was such a huge thing, these artist markers. I mean, I have 2 markers like these that I bought years ago, but with, a felt tip and the other side. But people have huge sets of markers, expensive sets that are intended for artists, like the Ohuhu. Is that how you pronounce it? And there's alcohol-based and water-based and things like that. And I was telling him about this, and he was getting kind of annoyed. He said, "You know what? Just stop it. I already looked at all of these things. Just stop looking." He was already doing research on what markers to give me, and he even asked a colleague who's into artistic things if she could recommend markers, and he told me that he already... So I said, so what about alcohol-based, water-based? And he said, oh, I already read an article that compared alcohol-based and water-based, and alcohol-based is better because the colors are more intense or something like that. And I thought, oh well, you already did more research than I did. So that is a good husband right there. I will not talk to him about this anymore. I will just let him do his thing, and I will see what happens. And yeah. So if you're interested in seeing that, I can show you what I have colored. So I need to get that stuff. I was also, as I have said, all of this is new to me. I was just living in my own world. I have never looked at these things online. I was surprised that so many people used these markers, and also how everybody seems to do like backgrounds, and they use like water in these coloring books, and it never occurred to me to do that. So I do have some artistic background from school when I was in how do you call that? High school? So it's not before you go to university. The level under that. It has different names in every country. So I had a major in art, so I do have some very basic knowledge about that, and I did a lot of painting, watercolor painting, and I always used special paper, and it never occurred to me to use water in these books. I had no idea. Also, some people use oil pastels. I think I just know them as Neocolor. That's the brand that we use, and that's how we call them. I had no idea that people use that and then mix it with water. And I think actually the paper is not ideal for that, in my opinion. But I mean, everybody can do whatever they want. Do whatever you want. So me personally, I didn't go out and buy any new supplies. I have this. The Garandage Supracolor Soft, and this is an 80 set, and I bought this at half price when there was a sale in a store somewhere with art supplies. They were closing the shop and everything was half price, so I bought this for a very good price. And that's the supplies that I'm using right now in my coloring books. And then I realized, as I've said, that people like to use water to mix and blend colors. So I already had this. I tried using it. I like it for small surfaces, but not for like backgrounds. So first of all, I don't know how to do these backgrounds that people do. And I also think maybe that's not for me. I find it stressful. And yeah, so let me show you. I got 2 coloring books. I got the Johanna Basford Magische Reise. I think the English name is Magical Worlds. So I did this page. And I'm not super happy with it. I'm happy with the way I colored the pumpkin, but I'm not happy with the background. I do think it needed a background. Also, you know, I started coloring. I just started the page, and then I saw that people did backgrounds, but usually you do the background, if I'm not mistaken, most people do the background first, and I had already started, so I couldn't do the background first, so I did the background last. That was certainly not ideal. But also, you know, I just started coloring in the house, and then when it was done, I felt like it needed a background to kind of ground it. It was just floating in this white space on this white page, so I decided to add in the background. But I'm not really happy with it because it's quite kind of streaky, and I just used my pencils and then used the water to mix, to blend the color, and I don't like doing that on this paper. So as I have said, I'm not used to using this kind of color and water on this type of paper, and so I think this paper, it soaks up the moisture so quickly, it dries so quickly that it easily gets streaky, and it's hard to get an even color distribution. I mean, I'm sure there's also ways of like practicing this, and I'm sure it's also, you know, just me doing this for the first time and trying it out on this paper, and I'm sure there are ways to do it better than what I did, but I'm not really, I think it's just not really how I want to approach this. For me, if I do these background things, it gets too, I have to think about it too much. And that's not why I want to do this. I want to just sit down and color in. And because that's just what I prefer to do. I have done a mixed, like with water background on this page. I've started on this page. And for this I want to do a very light, I want to do like a cold winter day. So the sky of the color of the sky is very light blue, like I want it to be like one of those cloudy winter days. And the trees I'm envisioning like with snow on them. And then I know this is not the ideal way to show this, but I don't have the setup right now to show you any other way, so it will have to do like this. This is what I have also colored. So this is like a candy land. And this I did in one day, and it was more relaxing for me because I already knew how to use the pencils. I know how to kind of blend together colors and stuff like that, because that's what I used to do a lot when I was a teenager. I haven't done so much in the last years, but it comes to me naturally, and so it's relaxing to me, and I don't have to think about it that much. And I chose this kind of Candyland theme because then you don't have to think about it looking realistic. It can be anything. You don't have to think about, I don't want to think about shading and stuff like that. I mean, if it, in the moment, it kind of feels natural, I will do it, but I don't want to overthink this. And I think this is something that holds back many adults in their artistic creations. We are overthinking the process, and we are thinking it has to look as realistic as possible, and I have to use the correct colors, and I have to do the correct shading and stuff like that. You can if you feel like doing that, but you don't have to. You can just do whatever you want. So I did this very, very cheesy, like sweet candy, Candyland kind of theme. And this is not done yet. Okay, the guy on the other side in the other window is eating lunch, and I think he thinks I'm showing his my coloring book. I'm not sure if he sees me, but every time I kind of show this to you, I'm thinking, I hope he doesn't think I'm showing this to him. Okay. I know this is not how you usually show coloring books and stuff, but this is just how this is just my camera setup right now. Yeah, I also got this. I haven't colored in it yet. It's just like small pictures. And I actually also got this. This doesn't have anything to do with coloring. I just got it on the same day. I found this in a secondhand store. And this is a collection of Japanese woodblock prints by the artist is called Utagawa Kuniyoshi, I think. Utagawa Kuniyoshi. and he lived from 1797 to 1861. And he did these really cool woodblock prints. So this art form is called ukiyo-e, images of the floating world. Just for context, I have a background in East Asian art history, so that's how I know. And this is his most famous one. It's actually 3 pieces. There's also this one that goes together with the other one. So these were 3 sheets, like prints, that would form one big image together. So I really like this book. I found it in a second-hand store. I think it was a bit overpriced, to be honest, but I still got it because it's not something that you can usually find here. I think somebody got this in Japan and brought it back, and somehow they donated it to the second-hand store. So there are a lot of fun prints in this book. And it has like a catalog in Japanese and in English of all the images and the meaning behind it. And if you are into Japanese woodblock prints, you probably know of Kuniyoshi, Utagawa Kuniyoshi. There are so many. I really love this type of art, and it. I mean, the most famous one is of course The Wave by Hiroshige. And there are also like numerous prints with the view of Mount Fuji and the beautiful ladies and things like that. It just shows that Japan has such a rich artistic history, and all these prints are so expressive in their faces. It's just so fun to look at. And as I have said, he lived in the 19th century. These prints were made by hand. They were carved into wood blocks. They were not drawn. I mean, probably some kind of sketch was drawn before that, but then they were carved into wood blocks, and then they were printed, usually with multiple layers for each color. And so it's really an art form, and I really love it. I just came across this one, and this face is just so funny to me. Look at this face. Is it focusing? It's just so expressive. Like these are monsters. That's how they viewed that's how they depicted monsters. And there's also animals. This one is called Humorous Monsters Enjoying the Evening Cool. Yeah, so that's just a little side note. I bought that on the same day as I bought the coloring books. It was just sitting in the same pile. Yeah, and then I also thought, this is my map. This is my folder where I keep my old drawings. And so I did this 20 years ago in school when I was in my art major. At that time, I didn't really like coloring books because I was a snob. No, because I was, in this artistic major, and I thought, I can paint myself, I can draw myself. I'm not really good at drawing, I have to say. I'm not good at realistic drawing. That's not really true art, I'm an artist. I don't just color in other people's illustrations. I had this kind of very stupid mindset. It was, I was 15 or 16. It was stupid. But so that was it actually held me back from buying coloring books for a long time. It's so silly. It's just stupid. But I thought, let's go back I had this in my basement. Let's go back and look at the old stuff that you made. And I thought maybe you would like to see some of it. So I haven't really looked at this. I haven't sorted through this. This is random stuff. So the first one, I will not show everything. But this one, I realized is almost exactly 20 years old. I made this on November 1st, 2005. So this is what I used to do. These are the kinds of things that I liked to do when I was a teenager. Things like this. So it's also a form of coloring, and you can see here, you know, I like to, I mean, I don't think this is very special, to be honest. It's just like playing around with color. But as you can see, this is very different paper. This is like paper specifically designed to be used with watercolor. So that's what I was used to. So you can really, you know, get the paper wet and you can put in different colors and you can blend it. And I just feel like in my coloring book, it doesn't really work because the paper is just different. It has a different surface, and it feels to me like it absorbs the water more quickly. Yeah, I mean, you don't need to see all of this, I think. You probably, I mean, this is an assignment that we had to do. I don't really like it. Yeah, as you can see, I wasn't really good at naturalistic drawing. I'm more like, I was more the expressive drawing, coloring kind of, playing around with shapes and colors kind of person. Like something like this was more my style. I don't know, I don't think it's super special. It's just fascinating to look back what you did 20 years ago. I think I would like to get back into this passion again. I don't know what happened here. This looks kind of dark. I think I wasn't very happy when I made that one. Yeah, so this was something that I think, this looks really old. Oh yeah, I was 14 when I made this. This is really old. I think this looks like a copy of Van Gogh. That was probably an assignment for school. I don't think I would have done this otherwise. Yeah, so it's just, I don't know. I know that this doesn't have a lot to do with knitting, but it does have to do with, you know, creativity and exploring artistic expression and playing around with color, and maybe also, you know, trusting yourself to just try something. And yeah, it doesn't always have to be like great art. It also doesn't always have to be like perfect knitting, right? You can, that's the thing with knitting, you can undo it. That's just so great. I made this, how old is this? This was upside down. I was 17, I think. I haven't looked at this stuff for a long time. Yeah, there's just like a lot of assignments for school, like this one. Nothing special. This. Yeah, I did a lot of these kind of things. So I guess that's why I'm now drawn to coloring again, because you can just fill in shapes with color. Okay, I think that's all of it. Thank you if you're still here. Today it was a little bit different, not only knitting, also a little bit of different hobbies, crafts. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you feel inspired to play around with yarn, to explore your own creativity. Maybe you also really like coloring. Let me know. And as I have said, I would really appreciate if anybody has any tips on or thoughts on what I should do with the port jacket. Yeah, that one. I have no motivation to work on that, to be honest. I'd rather do some coloring. Maybe I will have to rename my channel soon if this if this continues. Okay, so I hope you have a good day, and thank you so much for sticking around, and see you again soon. Bye.